I don't know about that. You know, Diana Rossini and Mike Silver of The Athletic combining on a report saying that he's intrigued by the idea and that the Vikings are going over their options because J.J. McCarthy is a 22-year-old coming off of a rookie season washed out by a knee that required surgery. Daniel Jones, who they had there as a backup after Big Nick Mullins, he goes to provide competition in Indianapolis for Anthony Richardson. He's not an option. So what are they going to do? You know, what are they going to do in Minnesota? Will they actually have Aaron Rodgers finish his career as a Minnesota Viking? Could it be entirely possible that we see Rodgers complete the triple Favre-Lindy of going from Green Bay to the Jets and then winding up in Minnesota? As we all know, Favre used the Jets as a transfer portal because he couldn't go directly from Green Bay to Minnesota.
He wanted to do that.
To exact his revenge on the Packers.
Right.
Rodgers does not have revenge to extract on the Packers, and he actually went to the Jets for 2 years thinking that that was going to be his final stop. So it's not exactly the same, but going from one to the other, never thought that would be possible. And as we're sitting here right now, it's possible. News could break at any moment. You could interrupt me in the middle of this opening segment and go, hold on a second.
Boom.
I see.
I don't know.
Look, I see. Rich, I always like to say sometimes the story is already written in life, and we're just reading it. Sometimes I kind of feel like this story is already written, and now we're just getting to the chapter.
Are you on something? Like, is that candle burning incense instead of what's happening over there? I don't know what the hell that meant.
Might have got some of that TJ Plus. You never know.
Ayahuasca?
Nah, man. But seriously, I feel like sometimes we already know what's going to happen.
But with Rodgers, we do not know. And apparently the only guy who knows is Aaron Rodgers because the Steelers and the Giants have been waiting on word from him for 48 hours, it appears. You know, Jerry Dulac came on, he's coming on this show. He's as plugged into the Steelers as any other human being on the earth. He's coming in hour number 2. We asked him for some time Monday. He's just like, let's do it Thursday when things are most likely going to be settled. And he's going to come on, and as soon as we say goodbye to him on the Zoom at the top of the second hour, Aaron Rodgers is going to make a decision.
Feels like it.
Unless does he choose the Giants? Does he choose the Steelers? Does he choose the Vikings? All of them have interesting scenarios for him. You know, one would think the Giants, obviously, the furthest away from giving him a chance to get a ring before it's all over. The Vikings are the closest. They won 14 games with Sam Darnold last year. The Vikings have Justin Jefferson to throw to and Jordan Addison to throw to and his buddy from Green Bay, Aaron Jones, to hand off to.
11 games in domes.
And a guy named Kevin O'Connell, the fresh coach of the year, who's as great as they come and coaching people up and being a person and being a human and allowing everybody to be themselves and stepping back and seeing the room and reading it and coming up with a game plan that is as quarterback friendly as anybody. And Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure, would love to be coached by him. But there's a kid behind him. Who knows what might happen there? Does he turn the kid into Jordan Love? Which is another crazy-ass aspect of him going to Minnesota. Going to Pittsburgh, he's got a great chance to win a ring there, too. One would think the defense is as chock full of stars and people who are more close in his age group than the Jets' defense was. Go play and see T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward and Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joey Porter's kid doing the defensive thing for him. And then he gets to play in the NFC North, obviously, as a Minnesota Viking, but he does get to do so halfway as a Steeler. They play the NFC North and the Jets. And that's not a bad choice for him. He could win a championship there for Mike Tomlin, who I'm sure he would like to be coached by as well. I'm sure he gets along well with Daboll when he speaks with him, too. It's just, what the hell is he thinking? The question is, where is he right now? And there's a great answer to that question you didn't expect. Go ahead, you can hit it. He's on the beach right now.
Where is Aaron right now?
I mean, by the way, if I lived on the beach, this is what I would do every morning.
Every morning.
Fact.
Every morning, I would just throw on something to keep warm and just watch the sunrise every single day. And that means he's living life the right way. Aaron Rodgers, there he is.
No doubt.
Although it does look like he's appearing in a, is he in the next episode of The White Lotus? Somewhere in paradise, deep in thought?
There is a big cameo coming that hasn't been revealed
Is that
yet.
right? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is that the green and white lotus right there?
I mean, sad music could have really changed that.
You know what I mean? Or the White Lotus music, where anything that looks like paradise can seem creepy and eerie on the spot. Because Russ is waiting. Mm-hmm. How do you think Russ must feel?
That's a great question.
Right now. Like, his stuff's up in the air because Aaron Rodgers is deciding, and you know what? Good for him. You know what he's doing? He's going to visit Cleveland, which is apparently one of the teams that kind of is in the market for a second quarterback for their quarterback room, and maybe a veteran, and is apparently not interested in Aaron Rodgers. He went there, which is a way of levering to these teams. Hey, if you're making me plan B to plan Aaron, I might not be there. I ain't not going to be there. And you know he means business. You know he means business when he flies maybe business class instead of private. Because last time we saw him, because he's going from Cleveland to the Giants, the last time he actually went to visit the Giants on a free agency tour, it's when he went to the Giants first on the way to Pittsburgh and flew through Newark Airport. And I said at the time, if you are flying through Newark Airport, you are showing you are a working class, I mean business type person. Because you don't do that willingly. Okay? You do not say, you know what? I have the means to fly private, but I just want to see what the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is up to. You know what I mean? I want to put myself in the care of the Port Authority of NY and NJ. You don't do that, just because. You're showing a true grit. The question is, do we see him in Newark Airport when he goes from the Browns to the Giants? Because if he does that, you know he means business.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
He already humbled himself once.
He's already humbled himself.
He's not going to do it again.
PJ out. PJ City from...
TJ, you may never know.
That's true.
Unless you've actually been to Terminal A at the great city of Newark, New Jersey.
I've been there.
And sampled the Cinnabon. They may have the best Cinnabon in the history of bonds and Cinna.
That's a bold statement.
Bonds.
Cinnabons. Yeah.
Cinnabon.
He likes them glazed, not baked. All right, listen. Kirk Cousins is also an option.
Sort of, not really, maybe.
The Falcons are pulling a full Browns, telling everybody we're holding on to him, which means, they're going to pay him $40 million.
Come get him.
Which, by the way, means they keep him because that's how much he's making on an annual basis on his contract, even though he would cost less this year. But they say they're going to keep him. And this is the intriguing option. The question is, if you're waiting for them to cut him by next week, if you're waiting to see if they're going to pop him on the street and you can get him for the league minimum and you're willing to roll the dice and wait, do you just jump to the front of the line, talk to the Falcons, ask them what the sliding scale of how much money they're willing to eat would be based on the draft compensation you're willing to give up? You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
I'm willing to make sure that I've got a quarterback. I'm not left with a quarterback I'm not terribly into when the music stops because the music is playing until Aaron Rodgers makes a decision. You just cut straight to the front of the line. And you call up Atlanta and say, I'll give you 3. How much money you're willing to eat and pay of this contract. The only issue with that is you got a kid in Michael Penix, who's still a kid, with an injury history in college, and you don't know how durable he is in the pros yet because he only got a cup of coffee last year. Speaking of which, I've got a fresh one right here.
Wow.
And what if you need Kirk Cousins? And now he's starting for the Cleveland Browns, or he's starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or he's starting for, wait for it, the Minnesota Vikings. Because that wouldn't be totally insane either, would it? You welcome Kirk back, and he's at least starting there, and he gets Penixed by the kid drafted after Penix last year.
I wouldn't want that if I was Kirk.
I don't think he's got much of a choice in the matter right now, pal.
That might be true, too.
That might be true, too. That's the current state of affairs in the quarterback market as we come on the air here the first full day of the new league year.